Priestess ITFUT by Vadim Zealand. This is a summary of Priestess ITFUT. The book itself I found rather difficult to read, which is intentionally done by Zealand, but it is loaded with powerful lessons. So without any further ado, we're going to start with this summary of this book. Intro, quintessence of knowledge. Reality can be set and shifted by working with the braid of intention, an energetic plexus located behind the back at the level of the shoulder blades. The method: 1. Catch the sensation of the braid. 2. Declare your intention in thoughts, words, or images. Feel it. It's also going to work. 3. Reset the sensation. 4. Reality moves to another film with a new scenario. And by reset the sensation, that means let go of it. This is how the imaginary becomes embodied in reality. Central self-question. Are you doing this yourself, or is something leading you? You being pulled around by the nose, by a pendulum. Reality exists as many versions, countless films with their own scenarios. By engaging the braid, you can deliberately move from one film to another. The key to training: 1. Constantly set reality, not occasionally, but always. This is a habit that we train. This is something that we normalize. This is the entire purpose. 2. Notice when the shift occurs. 3. State it and fix it in awareness. Intention requires determination, not hope, not waiting for if it will work out, but certainty. Complex tasks or long-term goals may take time. They are realized step by step, moving through successive films that bring you closer to the target. The braid strengthens through repeated use, both on small and large events. Instructions for waking up. I will wake up every time I am about to act. When something happens, when something presses upon me, or when something feels wrong with me, or the surrounding reality. The instructions must be repeated constantly. Presence is required to set reality. To enter presence, notice where your attention is and what it's doing. Remember, yourself is your attention. In sleep, the situation owns you. In presence, you own the situation. Presence must be practiced through multiple repetitions. We're talking about building habits until it becomes natural. This becomes our default. We have been conditioned to act like a bunch of mamalukes from day one. We have been turned into being asleep as normal. It's time to wake up. It's time to become an adult in the healthy way, not to be some clown that considers themselves a grown-up and acts like a horse's ass. Part 1. Gaining strength. Manifesto of will. The majority of people live as sleepwalkers, or NPCs, or ham and eggers, depending on who you talk to. They move unconsciously through the film, reacting automatically to circumstances, never realizing they're inside a dream. The first requirement for freedom is to wake up and declare will, to decide that you yourself will set reality and not wait for it to set you. The herd life is one of obedience. Pendulums dictate what is necessary, what is allowed, what is respectable. People surrender their will to these programs, and in return they are promised safety. The safety is an illusion. By giving away will, a person becomes defenseless, vulnerable to manipulation, and powerless before events. The manifesto of will is simple. I live consciously. I set reality deliberately. I do not wait. I declare. I am not a puppet of the film. Will is not the same as force. Force is going to waste your energy by trying to push the reflection. If that's an important concept in Zealand's books, the reflection versus the source. Will is the quiet determination to set the frame and to hold it regardless of appearances. The appearances are the reflection. If you're going to let that run your life, you're getting pulled by the nose. Every time you catch yourself about to act, ask, am I awake or am I being led? Build that habit, build that muscle. If you're awake, you're acting by will. If you're asleep, the script is acting through you. This manifesto must be repeated and fixed in the projector notebook. By doing so, you inscribe the stance of authorship into the reel of reality. So, what that means is you're going to determine your script. You're going to put that film roll into the projector of reality. So, you're going to keep repeating it because you know that's what it is. So, to gather strength, you must liberate your will from the pendulum and reclaim it for yourself. Only then can the braid of intention activate and reality be managed. Super, super simple. Pendulum, outside forces. Let's go for an easy one. Government. With the monetary system itself is a pendulum. We think about it, we ascribe value to the dollar. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve literally just printed $18 billion the other day. So, where did that value come from? It's a belief system that we're all buying into. We use the money as a form of safety. So, we start chasing it. We start getting into that whole wheel of doing. Now we are fully trapped in the illusion that it's scarce and that we are not worthy of it, etc. And then we push it away, as opposed to understanding we are in a place of infinite abundance and money can just fall upon us. That's actually true. You could read up on all the stories where it happens. Um, People get it because we are in a consciousness model of reality. This is a dream. But when you start believing the whole thing to be real, then you're locked in the pendulum's grip. It controls you. It controls your reality. It takes your attention and energy and feeds on it like a parasite. That's how it works. It's parasiting your energy. I know that's not a real word. No matter how, if you fight it, it gets energy. If you go along with it, it gets energy. The only way that it doesn't get energy is if you say, you know what, the hell with you, you're not bigger than me. When you find what's real, then it no longer controls you. Then it's just noise in the background. It's like the tooth fairy. Once you stop believing in it, it's not there. Liberation. True freedom begins with liberation from dependence on the herd and its pendulums. The herd consciousness often offers comfort in exchange for submission, but this bargain costs you your will, kind of like what we just talked about. And people are going to hold on to, then this is how pendulums work. And you see these people, they hold on to the rules, authority, the approval, and they believe that by playing along, they're going to get security. I know for myself, a catalytic event was during COVID when I realized, oh, wow, all this security I've been chasing could be taken away in the blink of an eye. It's completely illusory. And that's when I began to only work on myself and my relationship with my creator. So that really pulled me into Vadim's work. So fighting pendulums only feeds them. Real liberation is withdrawing your attention and ceasing to participate in their stupid games. When you stop feeding destructive structures, they have no more power over you. They are only as strong as you make them. Zealand emphasizes that most of your fears, worries, and obligations are not yours. You're borrowing them from the pendulum. I'm afraid what others will think. But even better is, you're not afraid of what others are going to think. You're afraid of what you think the others are going to think. There's so many layers of removal. How many times have you had someone, I know what you're thinking, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you have no idea what I'm thinking, and now you're acting like a horse's ass because you thought that I felt a certain way. I never expressed it to you. You made it on fear. That's pendulums taking over the entire dynamic. So, obsession with status. The only one who should care about your status is you, only because how do you feel about yourself determines how you are, not how other people are perceiving you. And then anxiety about meeting imposed standards. Again, we're basing everything on these outsides. None of this belongs to you. Liberation is recognizing these as foreign. This is not you. Do not define yourself by it and letting it dissolve. The practice of liberation. This is something we keep going back to. Wake up and notice when your attention is caught by an external demand or fear. Wake up. Notice that you're being pulled around by the nose. Withdraw your energy. Don't argue with it. Justify it. One of the weakest things you can ever do is go around justifying yourself to people. You are complete and whole as you are. If you believe you need to let someone know everything you're doing, then you're making a mistake. You're making yourself weak. They look at you as a weak person. Or you're not going to fight either. By fighting, you're giving your energy. You're strengthening it when you fight. So you're going to redirect your attention to your chosen frame, and you're going to reinforce the plate or the braid. I live by my own will, not by pendulums. It's connecting to what the source is, not the illusion. As this practice deepens, the field of possibility expands. You see that you are not bound by the film dictated by the herd. You can choose another reel. Liberation is not a one-time act, but a continual discipline every day, in every way, in every situation. Reclaim your will from those structures that want to consume it, that want to take your energy through your attention and use it to strengthen themselves. This gathering of strength is the foundation for all the later practices. So if you only do this one thing, this will give results. This will increase your power. This will increase your presence. This will increase your attention. And I'll be completely frank, don't even bother doing anything else in this book until you're comfortable with this. Because frankly, you have to take the first step to get to the second. And this step, the better you have it down. And I keep going back to this on the regular, because this is the foundation. How strong a building is how well the foundation is constructed. Dream markers. In ordinary sleep, you sometimes realize this is a dream. Such a recognition is called a dream marker. It jolts you into lucidity. Now you're in a lucid dream, breaking the illusion. So before that, the dream is pulling you around. All of a sudden, you're like, I'm dreaming. I control this reality. Life in the waking world functions in the same way. You move unconsciously inside the film, treating its events as given, treating everything as real, never realizing that you're asleep. To awaken here, you must also find markers, signals that remind you, I am dreaming right now. I must wake up. Zealand instructs to train yourself to notice these markers during the day. They may be something unusual, out of place, a feeling of discomfort, wrongness, an inner nudge that reality is a little bit off. Situations that repeat, like loops in a dream. When you encounter a marker, stop and remember, this is the film. I am the one projecting it. I can reset the plate or the braid and set reality. Every marker is an opportunity to shift from unconscious sleep to conscious authorship. Give yourself the order. When I notice anything strange, when something presses on me, when something feels off or wrong, I will wake up. This auto-suggestion must be repeated daily and multiple times a day until it becomes automatic. As you accumulate markers, presence becomes more stable. The line between dream and waking life dissolves, and you begin to live lucidly in both. Without markers, you remain immersed in the reflection, reacting blindly, acting the fool. With markers, you wake up, you pass through the reflections into the awareness of the projector. Dream markers are the first tool of liberation. They remind you that you are never at the mercy of events. You can always wake up and set the film. In addition to dream markers, Zealand introduces reader markers, cues that remind you as the reader to wake up during ordinary life. These are phrases or signals encountered in the text itself, deliberately placed to trigger awareness. When coming across them, you must pause, stop automatic reading, and remember, I am dreaming, I must wake up. Reader markers are like anchors inside the book, but they are not confined to the page. Once absorbed, they begin to work in daily life, surfacing as spontaneous reminders at unexpected moments. The principle is the same as lucid dreaming. The more that you encounter and respond to markers, the more frequently you will catch yourself in the act of sleepwalking. Zealand insists, do not read passively. Reading itself is itself a dream. So if you're reading passively, you're literally going into that dream state intentionally, almost deeper into it. So if you don't stay aware, reading itself turns into a dream. When a marker appears, don't skim, stop. Become present and turn attention to yourself. Be aware of awareness. Over time, The presence of the reader markers in your memory creates a set of reminders, and you're caught by this net again and again throughout the day, pulled back into lucidity. The practice strengthens the ability to maintain the state of presence, which is required for setting reality. Reader markers are therefore a form of training device. They start in the book, but gradually appear in life itself. So essentially, it's a seed planted in consciousness during the process of reading the book, and it's reinforced during the process of reading the book. And then your consciousness starts to take it to the outside of the book and extrapolates it into this reality. So then you'll begin to notice real world events functioning like markers, triggering the same awakening response. In this way, the book is not only information, but a mechanism for waking you up inside the dream of reality. Tracking markers, detailed summary. The tracking markers are systematic signs that you learn to notice in your daily life that indicate when you're slipping into the herd film. Unlike single spontaneous dream markers, tracking markers are patterns you actively monitor, recurring sensations, repeating events, emotional loops that show you where attention is being stolen and which film is running. Why they matter. Pendulums operate via repetition and habit. A one-off marker may wake you briefly. Tracking markers reveal the persistent scripts that feed a pendulum. By tracking them, you expose the contours of the film that own your day, and that exposure creates the opportunity to interrupt and reroute your attention. Typical tracking markers include, but are not limited to, uh, emotional repeats, cognitive loops. That's going to be the same as a worry or a complaint returning with similar content. And emotional repeats are like you keep getting annoyed with the same situation or person. Why does this keep happening to me? All right, that's really what a tracking marker is. Why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? Literally own that phrase. That is everything here. Physical triggers, a tightening of the chest, fatigue, or a sudden drop in energy linked to certain tasks or people. External patterns, repeated small accidents or annoyances.